Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Lethal Venom Podcast, a show where I talk about anything I want with the honest to God truth, no lies told. Today, I am going to be discussing my experience in the work field. Now, I don't have a lot of experience, so this won't be a long story time. I also have some people that have also submitted stories about their job experience as well. So we will be reading those. I haven't fully read them. I have not really taken a deep dive into it, so it'll technically be the first time I read them when I showcase them on here. Yeah, as I said, my story about job hunting is not really significantly long. I started working when I was in college, and I didn't work when I was in high school because it was kind of a thing that my family and I settled on. I've had a really hard time. It was a thing where if I had gotten a job, I don't think I would have done as well in school because I can't do really a lot of stuff at one time. And so I didn't work all of high school. And then right when I was supposed to start working, COVID had happened. And of course, I put a huge damper and pause on stuff. I couldn't do anything. The course of trying to get a job changed because everywhere was on lockdown, and I went into a very huge gridlock. So then when I went to try to apply for a job somewhere, they always had the common thing of, well, yeah, we'll get back in touch with you, but yet they don't say anything. For the purposes of this episode, I will bleep out the businesses I mentioned. I know, and most of the businesses I've gone to are more popularized chains, so you technically won't know which store I'm talking about, and you won't exactly know what location it is. But due to the stories that I'm going to tell from these places, word could get back to them. So while I'll say them, I am going to censor them for confidential reasons. I know I don't like to, but listen, I don't want no lawsuit to come in my way. I don't want to get in trouble with the law. So they are going to be bleeped, and you'll never know. I'm trying to think where I can. Okay, but I will say what kind of store it is. If it was like a clothing store, pet store, that I just won't give the name. When I started going to Gaston State, when I signed up for classes, they wanted me to go actually get a job first before I signed up for classes so that they would understand and have a better idea of what my schedule would be. As you probably will hear in the school, and probably heard in my school episode, they were not smart. They were dumb. So take what they say with a grain of salt. So anyways, I went by their word and tried to go find a job. I think that the only place that I remember going to was a video store that I don't think's there anymore. It was a movie store. Technically, okay, it was. I'm not gonna bleep it out because it's not directed. The store, think of it like Blockbuster, where you go and rent a movie and you have to bring it back. That kind of store. My little farm town had that. It was a similar name. I actually don't even remember the name. It might have been, well, that might have been the old one. I don't know. It was some kind of rent movie store. And I went in there, got an application, filled it out in my car, sent it back in, and they said, we'll be in contact with you days. And then never heard anything back, and of course called them. And then they said that their boss was out of town. And I said, okay. Called back, and I think I just gave up on that place. Someone told me, though, that they did have a tanning salon in the back and tanning beds. And they said that they probably wouldn't hire males to work in there because in the past they've had trouble. They've had numerous reports that men look at the women very sexual-like and make very inappropriate comments and look at them inappropriately. And so I thought, oh, so sexist is what I'm hearing. And I think they only hire females there. Which, okay, not every male's gonna look at a female wrong, but y'all can have that theory. And I think after that, they never brought it up again. When I went back to register for classes, didn't even mention, oh, hey, did you get a job? So it was a complete waste of time. Fast forward 1 year, that's when I really started to get down and buckle for a job. I applied to multiple places, and I went to, let's see, I didn't do any fast food. During this whole job hunting journey, I've never gone to any fast food place, because fast food managers do not treat their staff well. That's just every story I've heard. And I thought, I'm not going to be talked down like trash. So, fast food was always last resort for me. I think for the second time, I did go to 2 grocery stores. We have a southern-based store that I don't think is popular anywhere else, called. I went there. I actually went through the whole interview process. I put an application in. They called me back wanting an interview. Went into the interview. He told me that he would specifically give me a chance and give me a shot, that I just had to fill out some more paperwork. Did that, turned it back in, never heard from him again. And then I would call them, and then I got this rude ass woman that answered the phone, thought that she owned the place, and had a bad. I really wanted to say something to her, but I thought, no, I can't say anything because I technically had the job. I don't want to get fired, but it obviously he didn't want me there, so I don't know why he lied to me in the beginning that he would give me a chance, and then in return not even give me one at all. So that was a fail. I also went to which is going to be in placehold of it's a store but has a pharmacy. I went in there and I filled out an application, and then online, because I think I filled it out online, and then I went in person to get an update on the job, and he told me, the manager said that we are not accepting college students at this time right now. We don't really like to have college people working. So I thought, okay, no problem, but here's the catch. About a few months later, I was in class, and I had read, and someone in class that I was talking to, I think I was talking about jobs that I had signed up for and was just having a hard time. And then someone that was in my class actually pitched in and said, oh, I work at and he told me, and she made a very valid statement. She said, have you ever noticed that when you walk in there that it's only females? And that's because he doesn't really like males working. I didn't know I lived in such a sexist county. I said, until you said that, that makes a whole lot of sense. That makes so much sense. I think it's changed now. There's more of a variety. But at the time, I think there were 8 females working. And that included pharmacy personnel as well. And then I think two men. So 2 men and 9 women were working. So I thought, makes a whole lot of sense until you said that. So I think my family confronted about it, but I don't think the county knows. So, anyone that's back home, if you want to know who it is, we don't really have that many pharmacies in town, so I don't think it'll be hard for y'all to figure that out. And then I went to, which for people that didn't, the code name was popular grocery store. Yeah. Same thing there, except I didn't deal with sexism. I just dealt with poor communication. Filled an application online, tried calling the manager about 10 times, never got through to her, and then went in person. They told me the same thing, to keep calling, and I said, I've called, she doesn't answer, and then never heard anything back, and gave up on there. And then, I'm trying to think, and I think I went to one restaurant in town. that wasn't fast food, and I was same thing. Went in, talked to them about giving me a shot, and they said that they'd be in contact, and then I called them, got a rude employee, the same bullshit. I'm trying to think if there was anywhere else in town that I went. Oh, I did go to to another pharmacy that was a family owned, and I didn't really have problems there, but they had me want to fill out like 30 pages of paperwork, and I thought, that's funny. And so I didn't go back by there or turn any of the papers in. We just said, no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to skip out on that. So we kind of went back to square one, and then all in all, I just ended up not working again. And then when I came here, let's see. When I first moved here, I didn't work. But then, 2 summers ago now, I signed up to do DoorDash. And I did DoorDash for a year. And I had a good experience with DoorDash. I didn't have any complaints with the company at all. I absolutely had no troublesome at all with them. They were fantastic on getting back to me. When I signed up for it, they told me that it would probably take 48, 72 hours, technically 2 to 3 days to get back to me because they get so many people. I got instantly hired within 5 minutes. I was actually surprised at how quickly I was hired. I thought, now see, this is how you should do a job. Apply for it, immediately get hired. Not wait weeks and weeks and weeks and then call and never hear anything back. So already, green flag. And I immediately started I didn't start the next day, but I think because I signed up on the weekend, but on Monday started. And, I did DoorDash in a very small town. There's a bunch of old people. They have flip phones. They can barely remember their crank the car. That's just the town I live in. So I was very surprised at how many people actually knew about DoorDash. I was a little surprised. It wasn't popping. Now, it wasn't me getting orders every time. I mean, there were days where I would sit for an hour and a half and not have any orders come in whatsoever. And then other days it was just and then some days it was order, maybe wait 10 minutes, get another order, wait for 30 minutes. It very much was a roller coaster. It was never consistent. So I did that and really had no problems. The only problems that I ran into with DoorDash was not from the company, but from people using the app. People typically don't understand how the GPS works, that whatever address you put in is what is going to pop up on my phone. So unless you give detailed instructions and give me a detailed explanation of what your house looks like, where you exactly want me to go, I can only go by the map on the app, or I can put the address into my phone and use Google, Apple Maps, or whatever I have for my navigation. So if I'm driving and I drop your location off and food off at a different location and you get mad at me, don't get mad at me. I'm doing what the app tells me and what the map told me. And then a lot of people tend to get mad when their order is wrong. What a lot of people don't know, and if you've never done DoorDash, is that we go by a strict guideline of we cannot tamper with anything, we cannot open a bag that's sealed shut. And this is at most fast food places, and even some bigger restaurants, and even personal-owned restaurants as well, that they have to seal it up. They have to put a protective sticker on the bag and keep it closed to make it to where the customer will know that the bag has not been tampered with, that I've not done anything malicious to your order, I've not put any kind of drug in there, I've not tampered with it, I've not stolen anything. And same thing with the drinks. They put something over the lid to where I can't open the lid. Now, some put just a sticker over the straw cover so that I can't put a straw through it. But bottom line is, if your order is wrong, you can't really get mad at me for that, because I give them your name, I tell this is the order that I'm picking up for, and they'll hand it to me. So whatever is in the closed bag, that's the restaurant's problem. That's not mine. I'm just here to deliver and pick it up. I don't know what you order beforehand until I get to the restaurant. I won't know what you ordered. So a lot of people do get mad at you and leave you bad reviews because you forgot something. You didn't get napkins, you didn't get a straw, the food's all wrong, the food's cold. Listen, I can't do anything about that. If you have those kind of complaints, talk to the restaurant and call them, tell them what happened. Leave me out of that. I also have had customers try to get free food off of me, and this has just been recently, and I'll get to that here in a second. I did quit DoorDash, and it wasn't anything against the company. I started doing summer classes, and I also had an internship coming up, and so I didn't want to have multiple things going on at once. And I put just a hiatus. I didn't technically quit. I just stopped doing DoorDash. You technically can't quit unless you delete the app or delete your account. And, before that, also, this wasn't technically a job, but I donated plasma, but I did get paid for it, so I guess you could technically call that work. It's more civil work and not personally office work. It's more community-based work. And I guess community service. That can be debatable, but yeah, I did plasma for a few months. It wasn't the best. I made some cash doing it, and the cash got completely put onto a separate credit card. So I had my own personalized card for it that I could use. But for me, it was a mixture of my heart rate was up. They go by strict guidelines at this plasma place. It's called, and their guidelines there were ridiculous. I mean, completely strict. I mean, if your heart rate was one number above, they deny you. If your temperature was, if the temperature that they were looking for was a 98.8 and you were like a 98.9, denied. Anything that's above one number was denied. It was crazy. And then sometimes your veins were not good, so I technically didn't have a good experience there. So I did that, and that's when I started doing DoorDash. Well, then after I quit doing DoorDash, did the internship that wasn't paid, and then once I got that done, I graduated from college, and now I'm out in the real world. So now it went back to reapplying. Now I have probably sat down and have sent in hundreds of applications, and it has been a mixture of not qualified, no sponsor, we're not looking right now, or a ghost. I've submitted to high profile companies. I've submitted to magazines, newspapers, website owned stuff, writing blogs. I've also submitted and signed up for just any regular job, really, at this point, because I'm desperate. For magazines, I think I've sent stuff to I think I sent them there. And I can't think. There was some more like Alabama-based newspapers and stuff here. Some newspapers around Auburn I've signed up for or tried to apply for. Even some entertainment places here. I went to, when I started doing department stores, I went to I've gone to workout place. Let's see, where else did I go? I can't really remember if any other places I've gone to. I've pretty much listed. I did go to a trampoline park, and I did get a job at a trampoline park, but it was so badly managed. The owner there had tattoos basically all up her neck. I just realized that I didn't have any of my focuses on. So, and I just received a text from a group chat, and surprisingly, my thing didn't ding. So I just saw that and I thought, oh, I did not put the group chat on silent. So, very good. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I went in for the interview. She immediately gave me a job, and I was ecstatic for it. I was excited. It was first place out of 500 places I've been to that told me yes. Oh, I also went to which bookstores, and then another bookstore here in town. So I went to 3 bookstores. All was denied. But so the trampoline park, it was I think was the name of it, or I can't remember. Went there, had the interview, went well, got the job, and then started on Saturday, or started on weekend. My first day, I get there about 10 a.m. and for about the next hour and a half, we technically just sit in the back and don't do anything. And then once business started getting active, that's when we started going out on the field. I was more of a court monitor. So I technically would go out on the court and basically walk around to the kids, to the people that you would always get mad at when someone told you to slow down. That was me. I was one of those people. And yeah, weekends were hectic. But during the first day, we're sitting there and I go back to, just take a break in the back room, and my boss is leaving. She leaves right in the middle of our shift at 1 or 2 o'clock. Now, I'm not a pro when it comes to the working field, but I've never heard of a boss leaving halfway through the day during someone's first day. Now, that might be normalized. I don't know. But a boss should stay there all day if it's someone's first day, because they're about the only ones that know exactly what's going on and how to manage stuff. So I don't know why she decided to leave throughout the first day. I didn't quite get it. But anyway, she left, and then of course we had a Karen first day saying that her child was getting yelled at for doing stuff, and then all that was going down. Well, then after our boss left, come to find out, everyone that she had left in charge was either their first or second day there. So she left a bunch of, and she had about 8 or 9 of us there. So 8 or 9, technically teenagers and young adults running a whole trampoline park when we actually don't know what we're doing. Very professional. So then someone messes up on the cash register because they don't know how to properly work it, and then it just leads to complete chaos. Come to find out, a woman that was working there, she ended up giving out hundreds of dollars worth of free concession products. So food, drink, candy, slushies, soft drinks, chips, everything in the concession area was just been given out. And of course, me and this other girl that was working there, it was both of our first days. We didn't know that we were supposed to charge them because this girl said it was okay. So she basically, she got in trouble, but get this, didn't get fired. So a lot of you may be asking, well, if you're on here talking about this place, why are you talking about it if you're working there? Well, and you might be wondering why you did not hear DoorDash get bleeped out. Well, I got fired from the trampoline park, all because of a miscommunication on her behalf. I did not go into work one day because I was having a really bad mental day. The day before, I was at work, and this has just been a huge miscommunication story with this woman for the boss. I've told her that I can work Monday through Fridays during the day. I cannot work on weekends because I wanted to put the podcast as my weekend mandatory. I wanted to have Saturday and Sunday to work on the podcasts I have as part-time and do that full-time. I thought that was a fair deal. Monday through Friday from when you open to maybe 5, 6. I mean, sounds like a good deal. Well, she never put me down for Monday through Friday. She would always put me on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And I told her that I cannot do weekends. I cannot do weekends because technically this is a job that I do, because I technically am getting paid to do podcasting now. So it's technically a job now. And she never listened to what I had to say. And then, yeah, she never contacted me the following week about why I didn't show up to work. And I texted her and I said, was letting you know that I apologize for not coming in, that I was just having a really bad mental day and had to take a day to myself. And then she claimed that I never told her that I wasn't coming in, which was absolutely not true, because I did post in a group chat that she was in that I was not going to be able to make it. So I technically never said didn't say anything. I did notify them about it. So I don't know why she's claiming that I never said anything. I did. And she said, okay, I'll put you on the schedule sometime this week. I'll let you know. I'll send your schedule to you. Monday rolled around. Tuesday rolled around. Wednesday rolled around. Didn't hear anything. And then by Thursday, I still didn't hear anything. So I thought I was fired. I thought she just said, you know what, I'm just going to secretly fire you. He's going to get the hint. And so I went home. And then I remember, because I was still in a group me conversation with the staff and workers there. And I thought she just forgot that I was in there. But so I went home. And I remember she said that they were having a mandatory meeting on that Sunday. And she said, if you're not at that meeting, you're just immediately fired. And come to find out, fired me on Sunday. And so I texted her and said, look, I apologize for not being at the meeting, but I genuinely thought I was fired because you did not get back to me with my schedule. You did not say anything. She just read it and didn't respond. I thought very, very professional. So, yeah, I'm not mad that I got fired there. It was a complete hell. If that's what hell's like, I don't want to go there. But what amazes me is I don't understand how people that give out free products that cost way over $100, staff that bullies you and technically racist get to work there, but yet someone that skipped one day of work gets fired. I thought, why is it now I get fired, but yet someone that is racist, a bully, and gives out free products stays? I'm not mad that I got fired. I started back doing DoorDash, and I'm enjoying it. I've not had any complaints, even though people have been kind of more mean and trying to get free food and free products. But I've not had any problems with the app. I'm enjoying what I'm doing now. I get up every morning and do it for 2.5, 3 hours every day. It totals up to be 15, 18 hours a week. It's part-time, doing it on my own time, and as well as doing the podcast when I can. And technically, I'm happy right now for job-wise. I am happy. I'm still looking, for my career, and, if an opportunity comes up, I'll take it. But right now, genuinely happy and don't really see any reason to leave. But enough about my struggle. It is time to hear and read your responses. I did go post on my social media a job experience survey where I basically wanted you to tell me your job stories. And it could be good, it could have been bad, it could have been funny, it could have been scary, etc. It could have been whatever kind of story mood you wanted it to be. I only have 2 responses. I'm a little sad that I didn't get more, because I really, really like reading tea. And I thought I like the surveys to be a chance for you to get steam off your chest without getting in trouble. But I understand people don't want to fill it out and give their information out. I understand that. But I was really hoping for more. But thank you to the 2 people that submitted a story. Our first one is kind of long. Their story starts out as, ooh, where do I start? You always know it's going to be good when it starts then. I've had some pretty interesting jobs, LOL. I had this one job. I was a 1099 contractor, which means I was an independent contractor hired to do a set task, and I did it under my own discretion. Well, that's how it's supposed to go. I worked for a real estate team where we had set hours, which You can't be an independent contractor and be required to be in the office for set hours. That ain't the juicy part, though. I had a cruise booked months out in advance. It left out of Seattle. I live in Georgia, so of course we had a flight early the next morning. It was a Friday. We left on a Saturday for our trip. My quote-unquote scheduled days of work were Monday through Friday from 8 to 3 p.m. Well, 2:45, my boss came into my office like, I need you to go 45 minutes away to a property and get a video. And I said, no, I get off in 15 minutes. Even if I shoot it today, I'm not going to have time to edit it. Next thing you know, my big boss walks in my office, gets in my face, and screams at me for taking food off his kid's plate and how savage of a piece of shit I was. And I said, sucks, but I'm not going. I had a great time on my cruise. He was gone the week I got back, and no word was said about it. I kept my mouth shut, and in the following week, I emptied my office and said, fuck you, and never went back. Then, fast forward 2 years, he blamed it all on his operations manager. I'm like, okay, but you're the one that got in my face. It sounds to me more of he was trying to get rid of somebody, and he was, I guess in his mind, how can I get rid of somebody to hire this person? Honestly, screw him. I mean, sometime, and that is crazy, you work an 8 to 3 job, and 15 minutes before your day's almost over, they want you to drive 45 minutes away to go get video of a property and come back. Like, no. I would have responded in the same way as, I have 2 minutes, or 15 minutes. I'm not going to do that. So, I completely understand and why you stormed out and all that. Completely understand that. I would not have wanted to keep up with it. But thank you so much for submitting your story. Our next and last one, sadly, was I was working in fast food at the time, and a manager had said some nasty things about me to some co-workers when I wasn't around. When the news was brought to me, I immediately went to one of the directors who are above our managers and told them what I was told. About an hour goes by, and I was brought back into the office where I was confronted with a very condescending and disrespectful one-sided conversation about how lying and defamation of character wasn't allowed in the workplace. When I was asked if I wanted the so-called quote-unquote investigation to continue, I answered with a simple no and told him that he had lost any respect I had for him in that moment. I quit the next day. I mean, good for you for standing up for yourself. I kind of had a similar story with DoorDash recently. This has nothing to do with the company. This has to do with the store I went to. DoorDash has been partnering with other chain restaurants like department stores and are now letting you take pictures of the stocking or the stock that's on their shelves, and you have to take a picture of the product as well as the price tag. And I wanted to say thank you for submitting your story. Thank you so much. And thank you to both of you for submitting the story. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, I was taking pictures of stock for the store. And this is probably about the second or third time I'd been in there. And I went down an aisle, and there was a woman that was working there that was stocking shelves, and she came up to me and said, can I help you? And I said, I'm just taking pictures of the things for DoorDash. And then she goes, you can't take pictures here. That's not allowed. That's against our policy. And I looked at her and I said, ma'am, I have permission to be here. All I'm doing is taking pictures of the shelves for DoorDash for your store. And then she kind of kept on saying, that's not allowed. We have a strict policy about doing that here. You're not supposed to take video or pictures of anything, of anyone in the store. And I told her, I said, well, I've done it before. I've been in here. I've talked to your manager, and he's okay with me taking pictures in here. He had no problem with it. Well, then she walked off. But a minute or two later, she comes back, and I'm still on the aisle because you have to take pictures of both sides because it's technically both sides are considered one aisle. And she comes back by and had to just throw in a drive-by response. You know, you're really not supposed to be doing that. And I said, ma'am, I have talked to your manager about taking pictures of the shelves here. I'm allowed to do it. It's not against the rules of the code of conduct that I'm supposedly breaking. I have a right to be here. I'm not doing anything to you. I'm not disrupting anything. And I was completely to myself. And then she said, so you talked to so-and-so about it. Or she was like, you talked to about it. And I said, yes. And then she said, get this, I'll just have to have a talk with him. I thought, what are you, creator of founder of I thought you're just a stalking employee. I'm pretty sure is over your ass. So I don't know why you think going to talk to him is going to change anything. And of course I was starting to shake because I was starting to get really mad because I was just minding my own business. And if the money and payment wasn't good, of course I would have just left and not even dealt with it. But y'all, it was $11.25, $11.50 to take pictures of a shelf. Like, who would turn down almost $12 to take a picture of a shelf? Everyone in here and anyone listening would probably want that. I mean, call me crazy, but you're doing a job as much as I'm doing a job. Your job is to get on your hands and knees and stock shelves. My job is to stand there and take a picture. Oops, I just hit my mic. I was getting a little too overly excited. So, I get your conversation about lies and defamation, and when she went to go talk, when she said, okay, I'm just going to have a conversation with my boss about it, or I'll just have to have a talk with him, I wanted to say, go talk to your manager. We'll see what he does, and then when he gives you a verdict, you can come back and let me know. But I really, really did not want to talk to her again. And when she came back by, I wasn't even going to say anything. She started it. She started that. I didn't start it. And, it would have been different if just a customer had come in and complained. Because, they don't work for so they don't know what I'm doing. That's understandable. You work for you work for the company. You should know by the rules of the guidelines that it's in law. And I actually also went to today to take pictures, and there's actually a thing where you can click to where if they ask you, you can just show that. So next time, if I'm in there and I'm taking pictures and I encounter this woman again and she asks me, I just be like, read this right here, and I want you to see what that says. And then and if she don't believe me, I'll say, okay, bring the manager over here and we'll just have him read it too. And we'll just see what he says. And I think she actually did go off and talk to him, and she came back and said nothing to me. I thought, get told in your place, didn't you? And so I continued taking my pictures and got done, and I took my $11.50 and took my ass out of there. I was like, I was like, so. But anyways, that's my job experience. You think for as few experiences I've had, I wouldn't have that much tea, but I'm on here and I'm going to tell what I want to say. I'm going to say what I want to say. Will it come back and bite me in the butt later? Maybe. Do I care? No. Because I ain't going to find out. I could be talking about any store in the world, because I get to bleep it out. Anyways, I do appreciate you all for tuning in and taking the time to sit down, listen to the episode. If you have any ideas or recommendations for episode ideas, you are more than welcome to message me on social media or send me an email, lethalvenompod@gmail.com. I'm Lethal Venom Podcast on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It's podcast. It's actually a private group to where I have to approve you to be in there. It's a fun little thing that's free that you don't have to sign up and pay money for. Why would you want to pass that up? On the social media platforms, you'll get to have first-hand access of behind the scenes stuff, as well as first chance of getting to do surveys. You'll get to be able to participate in the surveys as well. So a lot of good benefits from following me on there. And then you'll also be notified of when new episodes are posted. If you would like to stay notified about when episodes are new posted, just make sure that you're subscribed to the podcast wherever you're listening to. It's on all the major platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. It's also on YouTube, Pandora. It's on there as well. I'm also on a thing called Podmatch. I'm on there. If you want to be a guest on my show, you are more than welcome to sign up through there. I'll put links about that down below. And everything that I've said, I'll put all my social media accounts in the description box below, and I will, so that you can look back at those more. I do have 2 other podcasts. Southern Reads, a book podcast where I talk about books and only books and everything book related. If you're a book fan or know someone that loves to read, I highly recommend you recommend that show to them. That hopefully will like it. And then I have a Music Talks podcast where I talk about music only, from album reactions, song reactions, and just talk about everything music. If you like music or know someone that's a huge music fan, highly recommend you have them go check that out or have it checked out. It's on the same platforms I mentioned. I have a link tree where it'll have all my information and other social media platforms on there on one location. I'll put that link in the description box as well. Hope everyone is having a great day and continues to have a great week. I will let you guys know about future episodes when they're coming. I actually have a lot of episodes recorded that have not been posted yet. So, which by the time this comes out, they're probably already posted. But I'm always recording, so there probably are episodes after I record this that are already in the file. But I do want to say again, thank you for listening. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you all in the next episode of Lethal Venom.